here at the Piquette Avenue Plant Museum for the next installment of our Motor Cities Partner Program Highlights. We're going to highlight our educational programming across our Motor Cities National Heritage Area partners, and we have one of our favorites here at the Piquette Avenue Plant Museum, and we are joined by those who are the brain trusts and beneficiaries of the Automotive Foundations program. So we're going to start with Jill Woodward, who's the president and CEO of the Piquette Avenue Plant Museum. And Jill, I wanted you to tell us about the museum and how it came to be and how we got to today.
So Automotive Foundations is a program that we have been wanting to do for a very long time here. And what it does is connect young people with our 100-year-old vehicles and the automotive history, the history of manufacturing, the history of innovation, all of the things that happen here within the four walls of the Piquette plant. So we spent a lot of time brainstorming what could we do that would help the kids really put hands on these old cars, look under the hoods of the old cars, but also how do we help them understand why the Model T is so relevant today. So we worked hard on getting this program together. Took a long time to find the right professionals to guide us, the people who really know what's going on in automotive and manufacturing and Meknology today. And so we feel very fortunate that we had our debut last summer.
Sure. So can you tell me about why this place is so special? So for someone who doesn't know what the Piquette Avenue Plant Museum is, what's the high level story?
We like to say that this place is one of the most significant automotive heritage sites in the world, and that's because it's the place where the Model T was invented. That's the car that put the world on wheels. We know that we hear about that, but what does it really mean? This car, it's one invention, changed everything around the world, not just in the United States, but all over the world. It changed how people got from place to place. It changed who was driving. It changed everything. And I'd like to tell people that by the early 1920s, the Model T was every other car on the planet. So it really was the iPhone of its day. And there's so many technological things happening to us every day. There's AI now. There's all these things, but the Model T is still one of the greatest examples of automotive invention, hands down.
So when people come here to the museum, what sorts of activities and programs do they get exposed to?
We have a lot of wonderful programs here, including our daily docent tours. I highly recommend those. We get visitors from all over the world. Over 30,000 visitors annually come to tour the plant and see where Henry Ford walked and the secret experimental room where he invented the Model T. We also have school children here. We have over 4,500 students visit, all the way from K through 12 through higher education. But it's just a place where you can learn about Detroit history, about the origins of the Motor City. People that want to know, how did the Motor City get its start? Well, it happened right here in Milwaukee Junction in this building. And everything's original. So you can come and experience it here.
Absolutely. So a special place that brings special people together, and it sounds like special people came together for this program that we're here to talk about today. So I'm going to turn my attention to Daniel Hodges, and Daniel with a organization called Meknology. So can you tell us about Meknology?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you for asking. So Meknology is focused on the idea of sustainability, impact, and environmentalism for good and for wealth generation, not just for companies, but for people in general. We were inspired by the Flint water crisis to really come forward with innovative solutions around water quality and wastewater treatment. Right now, Meknology is making solutions for brewers and distillers, which transform their waste into, we valorize it, we transform it into goods that we can sell and empower them to not have to pay fines or pay the costs of processing that waste. So by doing that, we protect the aquatic ecosystems and the local waterways from things like harmful algal blooms and bad bacteria. As Meknology grows, so will our reach. We're starting here with brewers and distillers, but our process is very exciting. We want to be able to do everything from food waste to industrial waste to even nuclear waste.
So with that sort of background and that drive and passion, I read that you had the prestigious title here at the 4th Piquette Avenue plant of engineer in residence, the very first one to bestow that title. So how did you get connected with this organization and get ready to launch this program?
I've been fortunate to be surrounded by some amazing people who really saw in me something that they wanted to cultivate. One of my mentors and a good friend, Don Reamer, Professor Reamer from Lawrence Technological University, caught me one day and asked me to come back to school. And I was a little bit older, and I'd asked Don if he really knew how old I was. But after going back to school and getting my degree in mechatronics engineering, Don then connected me to several folks in industry. One of those people he connected me to was to Jim. And it's because of the passion that I have for learning, for innovation, for birthing new concepts, for impact, positive impact. He saw a direct synergy between that and between changing young people's lives here at Fort Piquette.
So one of the young people is John McPike, correct? So John, how did you become aware of the Automotive Foundations program?
So I became aware of this program mainly from my grandparents because they are members here, and they also own Model Ts. And I've always been super interested in them, and I've even actually got the opportunity to drive in them since I was 9 years old. Like, I've learned how to drive one for quite some time now, and I really wanted to continue that learning of Model Ts by coming here and actually learning how they work and more on how they work and why they work. And so it was a really interesting insight to actually see the inside of a combustion engine and see how they work and timing and everything, and how Ford was able to change that from just smaller engines that were barely even used and that were just like almost playthings for rich people for common people to use every single day. And I think that was the main part because I'm really drawn to the history of this place too. And learning that history really got me engaged, and the differences in cars and all the sorts of cars that are even running around here, all the way to the common car or the Model T, I guess.
So when you got involved in it, what did you like the most about the program?
I think what I liked most about it was I think I really liked the differences between the electric engines and the combustion engines, and learning just the small differences and some of the huge differences between those. And I think one of the other really major things that I liked here was the history of this place, the major history of this place, I'd say, and the impact it had on the world, and even like the small stuff that people wouldn't even know about the history of this place. And that really interested me because I think it kind of connected me more to the history of cars and my interest in cars. Like, it was just really interesting and cool to really see how this place, just how big it was at its point and how it really invested the world in cars. It was just an amazing experience.
Wow. No, that's great. So did you have a chance to share with anybody else your age? Like, were there other friends of yours or family members who were able to, like, I'm involved in this cool thing, you wouldn't believe it?
Yeah, I've a couple of my friends, I've told them about this, and if that they want to get involved. And some of them were interested, and some of them didn't have the time. But I think if I were to show them this, possibly, and what I do here sometimes, I think I could get them more interested in everything, and I could get more friends involved in all this.
That's great to hear. So needless to say, it sounds like you would come back for another round if you had the opportunity to become involved long term. So speaking of another round, to Jill, to Daniel, is there an opportunity for 2026 and beyond for this program to continue?
Absolutely. We're so excited. This was our pilot this past summer. We took a lot of good photographs and shared them with, some community leaders. And I'm very excited to say that we have a $5,000 challenge grant for the program to continue this year and beyond. We really would like to offer these workshops, as often as we can schedule them and as Daniel's schedule permits. I'm looking forward to forming some partnerships, maybe with the Detroit Public Schools and their high school that specializes in automotive, technology. So we're delighted to be able to do this some more and just to continue learning.
Dan, you're on board to keep going forward, it sounds like.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, having an opportunity to connect with folks, to make innovators and impact-driven innovators is just so rewarding. And I learned as much as they did, or I hope more, because just in the teaching of this, you take on the energy of hope and youth, and you use that to inform your own engineering motivations. I know that Jill is amazing. There's so many things about Henry Ford that I learned here that I thought, yeah, I took social studies and I took history and yeah, I did some in college. Jill and this place is an amazing fount of information and all of the stuff all of the nuance, all of the bits that connect together that you don't normally get from just flipping a page or watching a documentary. And so this place is really, it's a gem, and it really helped to cement how you can do hands-on innovation and make it real.
I want to thank you all for sharing so much about the Automotive Foundations program here today. And Jill, I want to ask you, so how do people become involved? How do they sign up to become involved with the program?
They can absolutely just send us an email, give us a call. We'll start a list. As soon as we have dates, we will be in touch with them, and we'd love to have their young people.
All right. Well, thank you all. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
See you there? All right.